I've been riding dirt bikes for over 20 years, and somehow I still can't wheelie. So today I'm getting a lesson from LoMoto, who's an actual stunt rider. But what I thought was going to be a basic lesson on wheelies ended up completely blowing my mind, because less than 2 hours later, I was doing something on a dirt bike I genuinely never thought I'd be able to do. And the weirdest part is, the thing that made it click wasn't what I expected at all. Today, I'm going to tell you why I wanted to learn wheelies in the first place. I'm going to share the tips that LoMoto taught me, and I'm going to show you the exact moment everything finally clicked. But before we get into all that, I want to tell you about Slacker. Regardless of whether you're coming from off-road riding on dirt bikes or stunting on supermotos, your suspension setup is probably the most important factor in how comfortable you feel on the bike. Unfortunately, suspension setups are also one of the more confusing aspects of motorcycles. And essential tasks like setting your sag often get overlooked because they normally require multiple people, and you have to fiddle around trying to balance the bike while reading the tape measure at the same time. Now that's where the Slacker digital sag tool comes in. You can literally check your sag in less than 5 minutes all by yourself with this tool, which means you'll be doing more riding when you'd normally be tinkering with your bike. And because you're watching Soup Moto, you can get your own digital sag tool for 40% off using code SOUP, S-O-U-P, at checkout. Now back to the video. I was 4 years old when I hopped on a dirt bike for the first time, and from then on I was completely hooked. Because my dad was a moto guy competing in local races, I naturally gravitated towards the motocross track. And that's the main type of riding I did as I was moving up through the bikes from my 65 to my 85 to my 125. And over the years, I got pretty comfortable on dirt bikes. Shifting gears, using the clutch, hitting jumps, navigating rough terrain, all that stuff became second nature to me. I could even do crappy power wheelies where I'd pop the front up and somehow not crash the bike because at that time, I didn't even know you were supposed to cover the back brake. After so many years of riding, you try a lot of things on the bike and you end up being able to do a lot of stuff in a half-assed way. But it's not necessarily the right way. Now, right around the time I started Soup Moto, which has been a few years ago now, I began to explore different disciplines of riding. I learned about cross-country racing and hard enduro, and I also started to develop a bit of a curiosity around stunt riding on supermotos and street bikes. What I found interesting was, even though there is a huge deal of crossover between many techniques, it seemed to me like there was a huge divide between the two communities. You have the off-road guys, MX and enduro, in one camp, and you have the street guys doing wheelies and stunting in another. But personally, I thought both of those disciplines were super cool. I mean, the same way riders like Graham Jarvis can do really slow, technical wheelies and pivot turns on challenging trails gave me the same sort of amazement as watching talented stunt riders almost dance on their bikes while in a wheelie. I mean, if you've never seen true stunt riding, I highly recommend looking it up because these people are doing seat standers and hand drags and crazy maneuvers where they like fling themselves up on the gas tank of sport bikes and they twist their legs around the handlebars. I mean, just all types of wacky stuff. And despite the lack of respect I noticed coming from a lot of riders in the off-road community, and let me be clear, not all riders in the off-road community lack respect for stunters, but from my experience, it's been a pretty large chunk. Anyway, despite that, I looked at this discipline of riding and thought to myself, dang, I've been riding for over 2 decades now, and there's still this whole type of riding that I've never explored. But luckily, I have a buddy who just so happens to have one of the sickest supermoto builds I've ever seen, and more importantly, the dude knows how to stunt ride. So, in an attempt to bring our two worlds of motorcycle riding together, I asked my buddy LoMoto if he could teach me how to finally wheelie my dirt bike. And boy did I learn some things I was not expecting. The first thing he had me do was just do a few wheelies without any instruction, just to get a baseline on where I was at.
Alright, wheelie number 1.
That was actually really good.
Okay.
That's a good starting point.
Right away, he was able to figure out the parts of my wheelie technique where I was having the most trouble, and he gave me some great tips to correct them.
You already popping your clutch, right?
Yeah. I'm in first.
Oh, you're in first?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'd recommend maybe doing second because you're falling side to side.
Okay.
So actually how it works is the faster you go, the steadier you're going to be side to side. And actually the faster your run up is, the better you'll be side to side, because the front wheel actually, the more it's spinning, the more stable you are side to side. So when you're going slow in first gear and you pop it up, your front wheel stops spinning like right away, and that's going to make the bike really, really unbalanced. And another tip I have for you is before you pop it up, your rear brake here, you see how you have like this play in it? So that play, you're actually not engaging your rear brake yet. What I would do is before you pop it up, just rest your foot on here, take that play out. That way, whenever you need to use your rear brake, you will instantly have brake pressure.
Okay.
So I would do that. A lot of people kind of mess this up. I still do it to this day. It's a hard habit to break. But when you do a wheelie, a lot of people pull their body weight forward on the bars, like they're almost doing a pull-up. You might even do it without even noticing. But you actually just want to just lean back. Just let your body be nice and easy.
And do you like lock your elbows or kind of just relax?
Yeah, you don't want to like lock them like straight like that, but just relax. You'll know if you're doing it wrong if your head's up by the bars. You want to be like looking at the bars from a distance.
Okay.
Also, before I do it, I always slide back on my seat. So like, where do you usually sit when you do a wheelie? Like back there or in the middle?
I want to say I don't think about it, so I'm not sure.
So whenever you first do it, I would slide to the back of your seat, like somewhere back in here.
But this is where everything changed, because LoMoto told me about a technique that had completely been off my radar for the last 20 years. And this, in combination with the other tips he gave me, were about to take my wheelies to the next level. I just didn't realize it yet.
And then if you feel like you're gonna fall off your seat, which I do this every wheelie, is I shift lock. So what that is that actually helps lock you into a bike.
Okay.
So you're nice and sturdy. So you've been doing them at first, but say you want to do a second gear, you're gonna put your foot underneath the shifter, lift up in the second, and hold it like that. So you're gonna keep pressure on that. And that's going to shift the bike to second, but it won't shift at the third because you're holding up on the transmission. And what that's going to do is, since you're holding yourself with your foot, you can loosen up on the bars. Because when you're doing a wheelie, you don't want to like death grip the bars, because little movements in the bars can actually steer the bike. So you want your hands to be extremely light on the bars, and you want all your weight to be in your feet. So hold up on the shifter to hold your body on the bike and be light on your bars.
Okay.
So what I would do is I would roll up slowly in second. You can shift lock. It might feel weird at first, but it's actually going to help lock you in. So kick up in the second, just hold your foot like that. Roll up, take that little extra pressure out of your rear brake, right? And then you're set up. Get a nice pace going. Pop your clutch. I'd push down a little bit, pull up, and then just try that. So I would start out with shift lock, brake pressure, clutch it up in second, and just see where you're at from there.
So I went and I gave it a try, and dang was it weird at first.
Okay, I've never tried the shift lock, or I'm in second now. This is so weird to think about. Oh God. Okay. So I shift and then I just hold my foot on the shifter as I'm riding. You're doing your run up like that in second, like locked in.
Yep, so I pick whatever gear I want to do a wheelie in, and I shift lock.
That's so bizarre.
What I would do is just put the bike in first. You know, you can kind of ride up there, just shift in a second, and just hold your foot. Once you got that dialed, then you can try a wheelie, you know what I mean?
Okay, so I'm in first. Okay, now I'm in second, I'm locked in. I'm locked in.
Yes, that's what you want.
So then I just pop up from here.
Yep.
And that was when it finally clicked.
So we're in first. Now I'm locked in second. That already felt like so much better. I'm gonna try it again.
I could tell, dude, that was nice. Yeah, he's gonna learn this quick. I knew it.
I have to think about it.
Yep, you'll get it. Once you get used to it, you'll just do it all the time. And once you know the proper technique, it makes it so much easier to learn this. How's that feel?
That's so badass. Way more stable.
And how's the shift lock feel? You feel like locked into the bike?
Odd, but yeah.
Yeah, it's weird at first. But once you do like a bunch of wheelies doing that, you won't be able to wheelie without it.
It's just weird like putting constant pressure on it because it just feels like foreign to me. But once you're actually up in the wheelie, you definitely feel way more locked in too with your feet.
People do it differently all the time. Like people do the shifter, the foot peg, some people wedge it under the frame, like all kinds of weird stuff. As long as you find a way to lock in, and I think shift locking is the most legit way of them all, so that's how I do it. But dude, your wheelies already are looking like supreme. Because I'm sure you already know, but the rear brake's what controls the wheelie.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's what's going to bring you down, take you out of the danger zone and stuff.
Should I be like using it to bring it down every time, or?
You can if you, like, do you feel comfortable on your rear brake? Like, have you ever done a wheelie before and set it down with the rear brake?
Like, yes, I have,
Yeah.
but I don't know if it's like an instinct yet.
Yeah, so you definitely want to be an instinct. Like, you don't even want to think about it. Like, if you get to the danger zone, you just want to drop the bike without even thinking about it. Let's check your brake reflexes.
Okay.
So do everything you did, shift lock, second gear, same speed, bring it up to the same height. But as soon as you're up there, instead of riding it out the whole way down there, feather your rear brake and bring it back down. Now, don't like stomp on it, because if you stomp on it, they'll slam you down quick. Okay. And you can also stall the bike out. Be gentle on it, but also be firm enough that it'll bring the bike down.
Okay.
So right now, you're going to learn your rear brake and also kind of learn the pressure you need to bring the bike down without like hurting yourself.
We moved on to some drills designed to commit covering the rear brake to muscle memory, and I began to get closer and closer to balance point.
Does that feel pretty good?
Yeah, it feels like I'm actually doing it correctly.
Yeah.
Not just like doing whatever I feel randomly.
You got the rear brake, and I'm going to be honest, so you're on the 250F and you're on a 4-stroke. All 4-strokes have crazy engine brake. And I know this bike being an air-cooled trail bike has even more engine brake. You know what I mean? So you're going to have to use very little like rear brake on this bike until you're extremely far back. So now I'm going to kind of teach you, you know how to shift lock, you know your body position, you know how to use the rear brake, you know how to clutch it up. So to bring the bike up to balance point, you're going to do exactly what you did now. And you're already being really, really smooth on the throttle, which is good, because some guys are really choppy and you don't want that. So essentially what you're going to do is you're going to pop it up just like you were, and you're going to stare down your fork tubes. You're going to look at like the horizon out there. Just look out in front of you, but keep an eye on your fork tubes, okay? When the fork tubes are pointed at the ground, you need more throttle to bring the bike up. When the fork tubes are level with the ground, you're pretty much at balance point. And when the fork tubes are pointed at the sky, you're at true balance point. And what true balance point is, that's when you use no brake and no gas, and the bike will just coast at a wheelie. And then once they're up there at the sky, that's when you want to start to use your rear brake. But like I said, this bike has a ton of engine brake. So what you're going to do is you're going to do the exact same thing. Keep an eye on your fork tubes and try not to chase it out, because the more speed you get, obviously the more dangerous you are. You want to get the balance point as quickly as you can. So when the forks are pointed at the ground, you're gaining more speed. When they're level with the ground, you're staying the same speed. And when they're pointed up at the air, you're reducing speed. You're going slower. So essentially what you want to do here is you want to clutch up and you want to try to bring the forks level with the ground so the bike stays the same speed. And then you're going to give the bike just a little tiny bit more throttle, so where the forks start to go up past balance point, and you're going to let off the gas. And when you let off the gas, the engine brake, you'll hear it be like, ooh, and it'll set the bike down. And if it doesn't set the bike down, if you let off and it goes, ooh, and starts falling backwards, that's when you're going to use your rear brake.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So just try to bring the bike up quickly and bring your fork tubes level with the ground.
A little bit higher, I think.
Yep, a little bit higher.
Didn't get it up fast enough.
Perfect, right there.
To be honest, like, I'm having a hard time like seeing the fork tubes. I don't know if it's because these kind of cover them a little bit, or like the bars.
Yep. So you might be like leaning forward more. So if you're leaning forward and you're pulling yourself into the bars, you're going to see a lot of like fender and handlebars. Yeah. So you want to like lean back and then just kind of peer your head off to the side a little bit. So every time I do a wheelie, I'm looking off to the side a little bit. That way you can see your front wheel and your fork tubes and everything. And then also look at like what's coming out in front of you. Yeah, but that time right there, you did hit balance point. Okay. Your forks were like level, and I heard you let off the gas, and the bike kind of hung there for a second.
Yeah. I kind of felt it become, like you said, like a little more weightless.
For the next hour or so, I continued practicing what I had learned. But at one point, LoMoto suggested something to me that I thought was absolutely bonkers.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, even if you want to try it, one of the scariest tricks that's like mental that people can't get over is doing a one-hander. And it's literally the same thing what you're doing right now. You just take your hand off, because all your weight's on that foot and you don't realize it. And you just pretty much keep doing the same wheelie just without your hand off.
I didn't quite believe him at first, but sure as heck, I built up enough courage and I took my freaking hand off the handlebars.
That's crazy.
And I think that's what got me absolutely hooked, because now I'm itching to get my next super secret bike. Stay tuned for that. And continue down the road of stunt riding. Remember, no matter if you like hitting jumps, tackling complex trails, or doing stunts on the street, we all really just love motorcycles. So, if you haven't yet, I'd urge you to give a new riding discipline a try. You just might find that you were actually missing out on a ton of fun on the bike. And I want to give a huge thanks to LoMoto for sharing his wealth of knowledge with me. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like, leave a comment, and if you haven't already, subscribe to Soup Moto and LoMoto for more adventures like this. And if you want to learn to wheelie yourself, go check out his video to get even more insights from this class. Thanks for watching.